because I'm going for a walk and it's evening time. It's like 10 p.m. So if you hear any car noise, yes, I'm outside. But I had this download. I'm just getting this thought running through my mind. Last time I was talking to a girlfriend of mine, and we are both immigrants here in Europe. So we're just having a good chit chat, and we're talking about how most black women or some women are sexualized and viewed as, SW, if you know what SW means. SEX workers, especially black women, the idolization is very real amongst us, even by the other race, by white people. So I came out today wearing a very short, short knicker because it's summertime. Who wants to wear trousers to go for a walk? And these men were just staring at me very lustfully. Okay, I'm crossing the road. Hold on. So as I came out wearing my shorts, there were these men who were looking at me very lustfully. And that whole conversation about me and my friend came back to mind. And I was like, oh, that's so true. What my friend said was true. These men will sexualize you when, like, if you're a black woman wearing something they deem inappropriate. They all of a sudden think you're SW and all of that. But then I caught myself in the process of judging myself, because that's not a good thing to put on yourself. I don't think every black woman feels that way or should feel that way. There are some people who are marketed in the media to be that way. That doesn't mean all of us are that way. Oh, this is me. You see how short my thing is? Anyway, so I'm like, yeah, not every black woman would be viewed that way. There are lots of black women in the media who dress very elegantly, very classy, who talk very good, like married very good and all of that. So I started talking about how we all put ourselves in that category and judge ourselves. So I started from judgment. If you judge yourself, that's how people are going to view you. And if someone judges you, that is actually who they are. So if someone sees me, or if I see someone, I go all of a sudden like, oh, they are SW. That means either I am one of them, or I'm looking for one, or I've dealt with one. Either way, you got to be, if you see someone as a SEX symbol, that means you're looking for one, you have dealt with one, or you're one yourself. That is the only way you can spot another person who is like that. And I couldn't agree more. This is my hot girl summer walk. I'm so stressful. I just finished eating. Okay. So I asked myself, do I feel like that? Do I feel like I'm a symbol for SEX? No. So that means whoever is projecting that thing on me is either one, have dealt with one, or is looking for one. It's the same way if I am a secretary, or if I'm an entrepreneur, or I'm a boss, I own a company, or I am an alpha. Alphas recognize alphas because they're alpha. Or I might be looking for an alpha, so I'm able to spot an alpha. Maybe I'm a boss. Only bosses recognize bosses. So if someone is viewing you a certain way, that means that's who they are. Or they've dealt with someone like that, or they're looking for someone like that. It's not really your fault. That is not who you are. That is who they are. When you get comments on social media about people telling you, oh, yeah, this, you're that, that is how they feel. If you take people's projection onto yourself, you are dumb. Seriously, because they don't know you, you don't know them. So whatever they tell you is a projection of who they are and how they really, really feel. That is their shadow. That is something they don't want to accept about themselves. So they're looking for someone to put that burden on. And you happen to expose yourself exactly what they're afraid to face. It could be that they are afraid to wear or expose their body, maybe wear some revealing clothes, and you are not afraid to do that. So they release that burden on you to feel free. I'm panting so hard because I'm walking very fast. So they project all of that onto you to release that burden off their shoulders so they can feel like they're a good person. But whatever you point fingers at, remember the rest of your fingers are pointing back to you. Okay? Only one goes to them and 3 comes back to you. So you are 3 times worse than that person you are accusing. For me, I don't accuse people, honestly. I stopped accusing people once I realized that the moment I point fingers at people, the 3 fingers are coming back to me. So that is who I am times 3. It's not about them, it's about me. And I have to look within myself to solve that with myself. Okay? But most people don't understand that. We all hate accountability unless the people who have risen or who have learned and become wiser in their ways, who are very careful of accusing people. But a lot of people, the moment something goes wrong in their life, the first thing they look for is someone who isn't afraid to portray what they are afraid to portray. So that comes to your shadow self. That thing you're refusing to deal with and you're accusing people of, or what people are accusing you of, are who they are. But they haven't faced it. But if you're able to be silent or quiet and listen to yourself, like be alone for a while, everything will come to the surface. All that is in the shadow, right now you can see my shadow, hey! All that is in the shadow will come to the conscious. All the subconscious thinking will come to the conscious. And what is your subconscious? Your subconscious is exactly the way you are when you're triggered. It's hiding. It could be a trauma. It could be, it's mostly trauma, right? It makes you develop or experience something that you weren't ready to experience or you didn't expect to happen. And some people get to shove it down somewhere. But remember, your body keeps the score. Your body will never erase anything that happens to you unless you deal with it. Until you deal with that thing, your body wouldn't erase it. It will store it somewhere in the body. The body will keep the score. And when it keeps that score, whenever you get angry or you're triggered, that thing is going to expose itself. That is why some people get very abusive when they're angry. Or some people just go into a deep shell when they're angry. That is revealing the shadow that they are refusing to deal with. That is a trauma response, some way, somehow. If you don't deal with it, you're always going to be abusive until you deal with that thing coming on the surface. And that shows up not to destroy you. Okay, whenever you're angry and something shows up which is not really who you are, that means you have to deal with that thing. That thing showed up so you can deal with it. It's not for you to harm other people. It didn't show up for you to harm other people. No way the body wants you to harm other people. No. It is there for you to recognize the pattern or the pain you've been through so you can solve it. It could be a resentment. It could be anger. It could be unforgiveness from your parent or from your friends, from someone from your family or whatever. But it showed up for you to deal with it. For you to question, why is this there? Why do I act this way when I'm angry? Why do I act this way when I'm rejected? Why do I feel this way? Why am I hurting myself, harming myself? Why am I addicted to this substance? If you're not able to sit down with yourself and question yourself and deal with that, because there are some people who can sit still for a minute. They have to fidget. If you're the type who sits down for like a minute or two and you start fidgeting so much that it feels uncomfortable, I am perfectly sure you're addicted to something. It could be that you're addicted to drugs, smoking, sex. You are addicted to something and you can't break off that addiction. And it shows in you trying to sit still. You can't sit still because your body is not used to that. Your body is used to so much hyper energy that it's hard for you to sit still. So face that and be in your essence. Because if you don't solve that thing that shows up when you're angry or when you're triggered, it's gonna take you out of your essence. And I know most of you who follow me are women, maybe even men. In order for you to be in your true essence, your healthy feminine, your healthy masculine, you have to deal with the trauma that shows up. You have to deal with anything subconscious. That is where the healing is. The things on the conscious, it's easy for you to spot it because you see it before it happens. Okay? When you're about to laugh, you're aware of it. You're aware of the fact that this thing is what gets you laughing, or it's funny to you, or this is what turns you on. That is very conscious. But what of the subconscious, the thing that is hidden, that you don't want to face, that you're hiding away from, that you're shying away from? But then it happens when there is a trigger, or you do it as a dark fantasy. How about that? How about your dark fantasy? Something that you indulge in, which it could be high risk, something that you do, and you know it turns you on, but you judge other people who do it openly. That is what you have to deal with. That is your issue, and that is what you have to deal with. Learn by sitting still. I know women in my life. I know this friend of mine. She used to be very, very masculine. We had to do a lot of, coaching with her. I talked to her a lot. I had to get her through that survival mood because she went through a lot. Her dad threw her out of the house, blah, blah, blah. We've all been there. I've gotten kicked out of the house as well. But I had to solve that issue because that turns a lot of women masculine, where they have no male protection or any male providing for them, and they have to survive on their own. They become so hyper independent that they don't even need a man at a point, and they become like the provider and the protector for their life, and they do that for other men, which is not a good thing. That is not good. I don't think any woman wants to be in the masculine essence and not in her essence. No woman wants to provide for a man so bad that she tells the man, I got it, sit back, take a back seat, I got it. As a woman, I doubt. Any woman who says they want that, I don't know, maybe they're trans or something. And no shade to trans people. I love everyone. But in this context, I'm using that because that is what it will look like. Every natural born woman wants to feel like a princess, even if they are independent. They want the men in their life to make them feel relaxed and just safe in their system, like in their nervous system. That safety that you feel. Yes, that is exactly how they want to feel. But are you ready to deal with the trauma? Because that is where the healing will start. Once you deal with the pain that you faced back when you were a kid, or wherever age you faced that, once you face that, you are going to slowly release all that pain from your body. The body is going to bring it up. Once you're quiet and you're just meditating or you're just reflecting, the body will bring up all the pain where it started, even flashbacks to your childhood. Do you know when you were a child, someone abused you? Like, the body will just bring it up out of nowhere. Once you're quiet, a lot of things come to the surface. And once you start dealing with it, which sometimes it will make you cry, it will just make you sob so much. If you keep on sobbing and you keep on crying and keep on weeping, you realize you start to become softer with time. The pain will come through your tears and it will make you very, very soft. I know some women who have never shed a tear. How are you a woman and you've never cried before? There is a lot stored in your body. You need to release it. And it comes as tears. Yes, it sometimes comes as tears. And you have to cry. Bawl your eyes out. Look, when I was going through a lot, I used to bawl my eyes out every day for like a year. Bawling my eyes out. Bawling my eyes out. I didn't see it to be a bad thing. At first, I thought it was a crybaby. Oh my gosh, so much noise. Okay, let me finish crossing the road and then we continue. Okay. Yay, we did. So I was bawling my eyes for like a year because I'm like, what in the funeral is going on here? Yeah. But once I dealt with that pain, I felt this lightness on my shoulder. I felt this lightness in my heart. And that's it. It didn't bother me anymore. And I became softer and just being comfortable in my feminine essence, in my feminine energy. And just like I was talking to you about this friend of mine. So this friend of mine was dating this guy, and she was the one doing the provision and everything. She paid for all the bills, the house, the food, the internet. I mean, everything. When she met this guy at first, the guy was skinny, and going somewhere in the middle of the relationship, the guy developed this big butt and a big belly because he wasn't doing much. He wasn't letting the man use his testosterone. The guy was wasting that energy. And you know what? Men are going to resent you for that if you don't allow them to work hard and earn things in life. If you give it to them freely, they're going to resent you at the end of the day. They are. They are going to resent you for being the one who achieved everything and they couldn't help you, and it's all you, and you don't need them. My friend really regrets. If it's something my friend regrets, it's the fact that she took care of that guy. She took care of this man. He made the man pack his car, and the guy was using her car. She had to pay for everything about her car. The guy was just taking the cars for a ride when she's not around, took her credit card, will use it and just buy whatever he wants. Like, he was the woman in the relationship, and my friend was the man. She got exhausted to the extent that if you look at her face, she looked like a man. Like, you could tell from her face that she didn't take care of herself. She didn't take care of her hair because her hair always looked messy, not done. Because she didn't have the money to. She was taking care of this guy who was like a son. So if you live in your masculine energy, you are either going to attract someone who is going to act like your son or someone who is going to act like your girlfriend. If you're a girl, you're going to attract a man who acts like a girl or who acts like a son. No in between. So choose wisely. Either you heal that pain and attract a masculine man by being your essence, or you live through that pain and you attract someone who's like your son or your girlfriend. The choice is yours. Seriously. You have to choose wisely. Oh my God, I'm under this bridge. It's so scary. Whew, but there's a light at the end of the tunnel. And there's no one here. Guys, I have to go home because it's almost 11. But this was the download I was getting. Can I use these stairs? Or I'll just take the other lane. Yeah, I'll just take the other lane. So this was the download I was getting. To tell women to heal their wounded, feminine energy and step into their divine feminine energy. That is it. If you haven't watched the whole video, when I go off, you can watch the entire video. Heal all that surface thing. Heal all that is in your subconscious. The way you act when nobody's watching you, that is who you are. So heal yourself from the addiction, from the anger, from the abuse, all of that. You sitting in a relationship that is toxic and abusive is not healthy for you. You're wasting your youth. You're wasting your energy. You are wasting it. You look back and regret it someday when the damage is done. Either you get up now and face the truth. What is the truth? Your shadow. And women who face their truth, even though it's hard for you to face yourself one-on-one and just sit down and deal with the pain and accept the fact that you were abused or you were all of that pain, you faced it, it's hard. Yeah, but once you get through it, that is where your success lies. Women who have faced their trauma and have dealt with it and have healed become successful because there is pain in that trauma. If you're able to master that pain and turn it into power, that is where you're going to attract your wealth. That is where you're going to attract your wealth because it mostly affects your sexual energy. All that trauma mostly sits in your hip. And the hip, as we know, is as your sacral chakra, is where it attracts abundance. So imagine something blocking your abundance because you can't even recognize that you're abusing it. You can't even recognize that there is power in it, so you don't even acknowledge it. That is the whole thing. You're abusing your own self. You're blocking your own blessings. You're blocking your own abundance. So the earlier you deal with it, and then you take that sexual energy, which you used to indulge in toxic things, and you put that into something beneficial, especially something you used to do when you were a child, which you're very fond of, and you invest all that energy into that, you're going to be abundant. You are going to be abundant. That's where your abundance is. But that pain will cloud your mind, so you wouldn't recognize that. The whole pain is where you're operating from. You're operating from pain, you're operating from trauma, so you don't even know you have all this power in you. Okay, guys. Let me just continue my hot girl walk, because I gotta get it. I gotta get this body in shape, even though it's already in shape. But who gets tired of working out? If I'm going to only get better, hey, boot to boot. I got my foot on the ground. I'm going for toe. And for now, I'm turning back to the house. I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm uploading a video tonight or tomorrow, probably in the evening. I'm going to upload a video. So stay tuned. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a video. And I'll see you guys in the next time. Okay, stay tuned for the next video. It's very, very juicy. Subscribe if you haven't. And those who let's comment. Someone said hi, Bruni, Lita, and Gatito. Hi. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.